Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 19 of the Squadron Shootout Season 2 tournament. This episode we've got the Ohm Industries Merchant Navy going up against the Ryghts Cursed Battle Squadron. This is a loser's bracket match, so whoever loses this will be going home. So let's go ahead and get right into it, get those shells flying. There's a whole bunch of tracers going back and forth between these. Those are a lot of shells. Lots of shells. It's like the Ryghts battleship is under a little bit of fire. But the Ohm Industries doesn't really have anything that individually can match the End of All Wars. Oh, one of the Alucards, two of the Alucards. Oh, they're about to collide. And explosion. They both had damaged engines and were not flying right. And how is that still alive? How in the world did they not kill either of the Alucards? Looks like we've got some Fëanors going after Hindenburgs over here, and then some Leamingtons going after the Fëanors. Oh, well, that one just got AI deaded. As did one of the Fëanors. Has been shot down. This Leamington's just kinda going off doing its thing. These missiles arcing around everywhere. Oh, Fëanor going down. Has no wings left. It's like, yeah, that'll put an end to... Ooh, that's a AI dead Hindenburg. That's a huge kill for Ryghts. Those Hindenburgs are probably the only things that can do any real damage to the End of All Wars here with their torpedoes. Ooh, the End of All Wars does look like it has lost a gun, though. Not sure how that happened. May have actually been a torpedo strike, maybe, because there are holes in the side of the hull there. But it looks more like something came in through the deck. Well, what is that? Is that one of the PT boats? Yeah, that's one of the Kotaro Kujos, or what is it? Jotaro Kujo. Seems to have had an ammo detonation and got launched into the air, but is now back on the surface of the water, but it is pretty badly damaged. Oh, what's this over here? Was that an Alucard? Yeah, it looks like one of the Alucards finally was torn apart. Looks like the Venture-class cruiser over here is bombarding this PT boat with rockets and missiles. Oh, the missile bombardment seems to... Oh, nope, it's just going somewhere else now. One of the patrol boats is despawning. Two of the patrol boats are despawning. Two damaged. But they are, you know, a minor part of the team. But Ohm Industries is ahead at 89.5% HP versus 60.3. So, you know, the missile bombardment from the cruisers can probably do something to the End of All Wars, too. Oh, End of All Wars seems to have gone dead in the water. Its props are not spinning. And that is bad news, because they could easily get left behind and then disqualified for being too far away. Hindenburg under heavy flak bombardment from this fleet carrier. While the Hindenburgs are resilient to flak, they're not immune to it. Yeah, and there we go. The engines have been disabled, it seems. And it is falling out of the sky. Oh, it's AI dead. That is another dead Hindenburg. That's bad news for Ohm. And what's this? Something is exploding here. Looks like there was a patrol boat for Ryghts. Another patrol boat over here going up. And then all that's left is the curse of the end of all the war to end of all wars and 2 fleet carriers. The end of all wars is actually really badly damaged. It's at 76%. What is going on over here? I mean, it's had 1 turret detonation, and it's repairing like mad, but it has so many holes in the side of it. Yeah, the end of all wars is pretty much done. Like, well, for the moment anyway. It's a battleship, so they can do significant repairs, but yeah, it is badly beat up. And this curse of wartime necessity over here is under missile bombardment from one of the Venture-class cruisers. Still trying to kill a Hindenburg. Doesn't look like the missile attack is really all that, terribly effective against the wartime necessity here. Like, it is killing blocks with every missile strike, but it's not killing a lot. Each individual missile doesn't seem particularly powerful. It's just there's a constant stream of them. See, how's this Hindenburg doing? It looks like it's doing just fine right now. It is missing a bit of a chunk of its wing on the left side there, but it just repaired it. And the end of all wars is just in bad shape. It's almost sinking. It's repairing like crazy, but she is just... Wow, down to 63%. Looks like this other wartime necessity has had its front guns all decapitated. May have been well, how did that happen? Like, all 3 guns are destroyed, but it doesn't look like there was an actual, like, explosion or anything, unless the holes have just been repaired since then. Things are not looking good for Ryghts right now. This wartime necessity is down at 57% health. It's trying, it's repairing, but... It's actually under missile attack from both of the Venture-class cruisers here. But really, they should be attacking this one, because it actually has guns left. Oh, well. The wartime necessity is now 2 damaged over there. Something went up. There was some sort of secondary explosion, had to have been, or a torpedo from a Hindenburg hit it. But it is now 2 damaged and despawning. End of All Wars is still firing its guns. But it got hit hard by something. Did some serious damage to it. And has been continuing to do serious damage to it. It is down to 56.1% HP. What's that? That is an APS shell that came from the other side? So is it the cruiser's main guns, maybe? Like the actual guns that are, Oof, I mean, those torpedoes aren't exactly nice either. They do a significant amount of damage, and that's actually a 2 damage End of All Wars. It has been destroyed. Which means now all of the Ohm Industries fleet is going to focus their attention on this poor little fleet carrier, and that thing is not going to live long. It does not have the durability. So yeah, that is going to be the end of this first round here. Ryghts' Cursed Battle Squadron has been defeated. It's like, I'm really curious. I didn't get to see what it was. I was not expecting the End of All Wars to take so much damage so quickly. I was not watching it. So I'm going to have to pay a little bit more attention to it in round 2, see what happens. Because that was unexpected. Because I feel like the only weapons that really can punch a battleship all that well are the torpedoes on the Hindenburgs, the missiles on the cruisers, and maybe the cruiser's main guns. Everything else is just kind of like whatever. But let's go ahead and get this battle underway, get round 2 started. Ryghts needs to step it up on this match or they're going home. We'll see how things go. But yeah, I definitely want to keep a little bit closer eye on the End of All Wars this match. Because yeah, this turret right in the middle here was detonated pretty early on. And I wonder if that happened to take out a critical component or something, and you know, it stopped, which made more shots land, which increases the damage it takes. And yeah, I mean, this thing is under some pretty hefty fire to start with. You can see the air battle going on up there. Those Alucards getting hit early and then crashing into each other and basically killing one another in the first minute of the match probably didn't help. We've got a 2 damaged Curse of Feanor over there. It was destroyed. Hindenburg's doing their things. Oh, this one's about to drop a torpedo. Or it already did. Can't tell. I may have missed the torpedo drop. Oh, yep, there are the torpedoes. And those things are heading straight for the end of all wars. Which is probably a smart targeting decision for those torpedoes. Feels like those would be kind of wasted against the smaller ships of the Ryghts. Yeah, those torpedoes, they hurt. That is a not small hole. I mean, it's probably gonna get repaired pretty quickly, but that is damage. Oh, looks like that torpedo missed. Man, why is everything running so choppy? Oh, looks like this Alucard has lost its engine. One of its engines, anyway. It's trying. But it is definitely just doing a death spiral right now. Continuing to be under attack from various missiles and anti-aircraft and all kinds of stuff. Let's check in on the end of all wars again. I mean, it's at 99% still. Oh, it is about to take a torpedo hit. But the applique armor on the inner layer there is holding up quite well to those explosions. Yeah, the end of all wars doesn't really seem like it's attracting all that much attention this time. Oh, that is a 2 damaged Leamington. It's been shot down and destroyed. The HP values are much closer this time around, and 94%, right around 94% for both sides. And really, that's not good for Ohm Industries. They need to get out in front of that battleship, get out ahead of it. Oh, looks like we had probably a sinking detonation of an aircraft over there. And this is a 2 damaged. Looked like it was a Feanor. There's also an Alucard that's 2 damaged, down to 21%, and it's not even despawning yet. Ouch! Something blew a big old chunk out of that thing. Yeah, see, the end of all wars is the major concern for Ohm Industries here. Or at least I felt like it would be. I mean, it was being discussed before I started doing the video that it would be a problem. And I kind of expected the same thing, but first round, I don't know what happened. It got ripped up pretty bad. What is this little guy over here? I just saw this spinning. I didn't... Oh, it's a sensor. Okay. I think. But the sensor bits have been blown off. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to keep a bit more of an eye on this ship this battle, but it's not under fire much. But there are at least 2 Hindenburgs left alive. But one of them is under some pretty heavy flak bombardment right now. Oh, we've got an 80% sinking. Not sure what it is. It's too far away to tell. Looks like it might have been a Feanor or a Leamington. I believe that was a Feanor. It's hard to tell. There's so much going on. Like really, these carriers with their flak bombardment are eventually going to take down the Hindenburgs. The Hindenburgs are not immune to flak. They're fairly resilient against it, but they are not immune. They will eventually go down. And that is one of the biggest anti-ship weapons that Ohm Industries has. Looks like this Alucard's kind of just doing circles, firing at the Hindenburg over here. Doing some anti-air. Trying to anyway, but it's a little hard to aim when you're flying around in a tight circle like that. Oh, and it just lost one of its engines too. That's really bad for the Alucard. Both of the Venture-class cruisers are alive and fine for Ohm Industries as well. Oh, but a big key thing here I just realized is Ryghts is low on materials. They've got under 5,000 left, and once that runs out, it will be much easier to damage the end of all wars. Hindenburg just has so much flak detonating around it, but it's standing up to it for the most part, but there are blocks falling off. And that bomb bay door has been opened constantly, which makes me think there might be damage. Oh, it's got all kinds of holes in its wings all of a sudden. Yeah, it's not doing so great. Ohm Industries should really be focusing down those carriers. So it seemed like the only AA outside of other aircraft that Ryghts has. Oh, and I just noticed Ryghts is completely out of materials now, so any damage they take will stick forever. And they are a little bit behind in HP. Their HP is going to start falling a lot faster than the Ohm Industries fleets will, because they still have materials left to repair with. Torpedo hitting the stern there, knocking out a few of the End of All Wars propellers. Gonna reduce its mobility and speed, and it can't fix it. There's no more materials left. Oof, this Venture-class cruiser taking some nasty shots from the End of All Wars. Looks like it might be offline, like it's not doing anything. It's just sitting here, its guns aren't aiming, it isn't launching missiles. But it's at like 93% health. That's not great. Oh, looks like a PT boat over here got blown in half by something. May have taken a Hindenburg torpedo or something, I don't know. But yeah, that is the end of that PT boat. Looks like the Curse of Alucard has been taken down as well. Got whittled down by the fact it can't repair, probably. Now it's just kind of resting on the surface of the water. If I remember right, these things have quite a bit of ammo in them too, so, well, that might be why it's gone down. It may have had an ammo detonation. But yeah, it is basically just done. That is no more damage coming from that Alucard, and it's just getting getting plinked at by a cargo ship. Where is that missile going? Is that going after the Alucard? Yeah, it is. And Ohm Industries ships pick some odd targets. Like, this cruiser has a battleship shooting at it, and it decides to shoot at a downed flying fortress that can't even fight anymore. Well, one of its missiles just went after the End of All Wars, which is slowly losing HP. But Ohm Industries is about to run out of materials as well, and once that happens, the Hindenburgs will fall out of the sky, because they've run off of steam. And then they become significantly less useful. Looks like there might only be one Hindenburg alive, though, so... No, there's two. Though one of them is gaining DQ time. I'm not sure where it is. Oh, it's under the water right there. Or is that, or was that the Alucard? No, that was the Hindenburg. It was sinking, and that's why it got DQ time and detonated. For a second there, I wondered if it got teleported out of the battle by that teleport on damage glitch, but nope. That was a legitimate disqualification. And now with no materials left, that other Hindenburg is going to crash into the water over there and probably get disqualified. So now Ohm Industries can't do any repairs either, but it does have a pretty significant HP lead right now. I think this is going to be a close one, folks. I have no idea which fleet is going to come out on top at this point. Because the Hindenburgs were a big part of the Ohm Industries fleet, and they've been, well, they're not useless. They can still launch torpedoes while they're sitting in the water. If those torpedoes aren't damaged. But it can no longer position itself properly to use those torpedoes effectively. And it could very well end up getting disqualified if the battle wanders away from them. Oh, oof. Looks like the guns on this... Yeah, the guns on this Curse of Wartime Necessity just went up, and it is now 2 damaged. And going to despawn. That is a huge blow. Oh, and the other one got left behind out there and just detonated. So now all that's left is the End of All Wars. Which is a very formidable ship in its own right. But without repairs, even these, even the smaller guns that are left in the Ohm Industries fleet can do some damage. They will whittle it down. and there's just so many of them left that damage can actually be kind of significant when you don't have any repairs. And even if it isn't, the End of All Wars has to get some serious damage in and cause some multiple despawns to catch that HP differential up. Wait, how? Oh, okay. I was like, how is this thing missing all the time just by shooting just over the deck? And it's, well, it's because it's aiming down and then the shells are skipping off the water. And it's kind of funny because a lot of the ships in the Ohm Industries fleet are damaged, dead in the water, and the weapons are non-functional or barely functional. Like both of the cruisers are just kind of sitting here not doing anything. You've got one of the carriers for ants over here. It's dead in the water, but its guns are firing. And then you've got this, is this the cargo ship over here? Yeah, the cargo ship sailing around, firing at the enemy battleship. Yeah, if this battle were to play out indefinitely, I feel like there's a good chance that Ryghts would win, but there is a time limit, and there's only 2.5 minutes left. And I feel like the End of All Wars here may have to kill not just one, but both of the opposing cruisers to make up the HP difference, and not lose to HP at the end of the time limit. End of All Wars also seems to be... Oh, that is a 2 damaged cruiser, though. Is that going to be enough? Does not look like it. 46.6 to 39.8. Yeah, it's going to have to kill this other cruiser. If it can manage to do that in the next minute and a half, Ryghts could win this battle. But the End of All Wars is also kind of leaving the area, and I think is lacking rudders to actually turn. But could this cause like a whole bunch of despawns? Because the Ohm Industries Navy is all dead in the water except for the cargo ship. The End of All Wars is gaining DQ time. Yep, the carrier for ants is gaining DQ time now, but it's... Oh no, it's not too late. It is possible for these things to get disqualified, but the End of All Wars is going to go down first. Yeah, I don't think it has, because its stern is so badly damaged. I don't think it has any rudders left to turn with, so it's just kind of sailing out of the battle now. Oh man, that was a really close match, but in the end, Ryghts' cursed battle squadron was defeated and destroyed. And it's kind of funny, because if these weren't dead in the water, if they weren't damaged and they were following the battleship, it might not have gotten disqualified. But at the same time, if they were doing that, well, they'd have been doing more damage, and in the end, they probably would have won by HP regardless. So, Ohm Industries Merchant Fleet will be moving on to the next round, and unfortunately, Ryghts has been eliminated from the tournament. So, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.